Welcome to chapter 36, the first chapter of the last block of chapters. In this block of chapters, as regards the content, we are going to be looking at Maori customs after having looked at Maori culture in the last block. And as regards the grammar covered, we're going to be looking at other word formation processes other than derivation that we still have left. And just in general, we're going to be scraping at the bottom of the grammar barrel. We're going to be introducing all the last constructions and whatnot that we are still aware of that learners of Maori should know. First point that we have got today are the particles ille and ulmash. I'm calling them particles even though they both are, you will have seen both of them as part of a verbal paradigm, specifically the paradigm of to be. Both of these are third person singular forms of be in the past, was. First ille in the first past tense and ulmash in the second past tense. Both of these serve basically as, can be used as particles to put other constructions into the past tense. Both in compound past tenses that we have already discussed in great detail, and I'm not going to go into detail. I'm not going to visit them again now, where we attach, but where we just put ille and ulmash after the positive or negative forms of the present tense or the second past tense to create these compound past tenses with very specific meaning. But in other cases, you can also use it in combination with, for example, with other finite and non-finite verbal forms that don't have past tense forms of their own. You can create periphrastic past tenses with these wherever you want. And generally speaking, you can say that ille always denotes an observed past, and ulmash denotes either a non-observed past or a past that was something that was surprising. So it can be either evidentially marked or marked by mirativity. Evidential means like that you didn't observe something, that you have secondhand information. Mirative means that something was surprising to you. So it could be like, for example, a necessitive construction with man, melam kaiman, I have to go, melam kaiman ille, or melam kaiman ulmash, both means I had to go. But in the first case, I knew it, I had to go. In the second case, it turns out I would have had to go. I should have gone. I didn't know at the time. So here we have like actually an overlap between evidentiality and mirativity, which is why these categories like to bleed into each other. Non-evidential means I didn't know, I was not aware of it at the time, I didn't see it. Mirative in that I learned about it later and it surprised me, it went against my expectations. Melam kaiman ogel, I did not have to go. Kaiman ogel ille, ogel ilmash, all works. You can also use it with the desiderative. Tolnem ille, I wanted to go. And I'm just going to skip over this. You can watch the full, if you watch the full length recording, you will see my students figuring out these paradigms on their own. Tolnem ulmash, it turned out I wanted to go. I mean, this might seem counterintuitive, but it could be like you realize to your own surprise that you had actually wanted to do something that you did against your will or so. It's possible. Yeah, here we see some usage examples. We can also use it in combination with the future necessitive participle in shash in the necessitive construction. When we had luchash ulam, I had to I have to read. I have the obligation to read. There's some variation here that you can say luchash ulam ille, I had to read, or you can say luchash ilem, that rather than adding the ille as a particle after the present tense form of to be, you just put the present tense form of to be into the first past tense. And this works in all persons except for in the third person singular. You don't have this distinction because we are not using a copula here. In negation, we don't have any variation here. It is luchash umel, that would be I don't have to read, and luchash umel ille is I didn't have to read, and it works exactly the same with ulmash. Here we don't have the variation between the two possible forms. Yeah, and this I had mentioned it first, but just so we see it too, that ille and ulmash, that they are actually also just the run-of-the-mill, the standard past tense forms of to be. Next point that we have, unproductive separative marker M. This is another member of the family of unproductive case suffixes. When we have something like Kasvel for the West, we have Kasveke into the West, Kasvelne in the West from the West. Where we have Kasvechen, we've already met this ch, but we also have Kasvelem. Looks exactly like the accusative, but it means coming from a direction. It's used only in combination with a very small number of stems, but it is good to be aware of this, because otherwise you'll be confusing it with an accusative, and you'll be very confused when like something coming, the wind is coming from the west, but then it's in the accusative. Why on earth do I have the west in the accusative? Yeah. Reduplication. Quick look at this. So reduplication is just the repetition of language material, and we in Mari have both full and partial reduplication. Full reduplication is you take a stem, you say it twice. So ugich means again, ugich means again and again. Koklan is occasionally, or koklan is from time to time. Kande is blue, kande is very blue. It's not as commonly used in Mari as it is, for example, in Udmurt, but it does occur. I mean, we've met Erken, Kuzelet, Erken Ilem was very early. How are you living? Slowly, I'm living. So it is sort of full reduplication is used for intensification of sort. Then we have, reduplication with vowel alternation in it. So if we have, for example, kade crooked, we have kade gude, sort of an intensified form with the shifting vowel. This is sort of, these are similar processes like we have in English with ping pong and TikTok. Yeah, but in Mari, it's again used more for intensification of, and often it's used to express a certain sense of irony. Tigede, small, tigede, tagede, it's like small and tiny, but sort of almost going to the direction of pejoration. Also worth noting the P reduplication, if we have like shem or sheme, black, we have shep sheme, pitch black, black is black. That you take the first syllable of a word, you replace the second consonant with a p, you attach it before the stem, and you have an intensified form. This is something you find in all kinds of languages that have been in contact with Turkic languages. That's where it originates. Taza, healthy, tap taza, quite healthy. Tinnis, quite, tiptinnis, completely peaceful. Yeah, next point, we have tudo combined with postpositions, with a small set of postpositions, like especially with dek. There are these melded forms you should know that instead of tuden deke, tuden dene, tuden ditch, the regular forms that we've come to encounter, we find melded forms sometimes also, tu dek, tu den, tu detch. Just worth noting these. Word and your word usage, what have we got? Well, various expressions for getting married, where we have some constructions that are used specifically for women, specifically for men. Getting married for a woman is marlan kayash, like going to the man. Marlan lektash, leaving to the man. Marlan miyash, coming to the man, basically. Marlan tulash, yeah, coming to the man. And the men are given a more transitive role in this. I got to take as to a husband, or to take a girl, to take a wife. If you are despairing at the gender normativity here, do not despair. There are some gender neutral terms too, like mujarangash, which is literally like just to form a pair, and ushnash to join. You can use those two for getting married. To go, we're having a quick meta overview of various verbs meaning to go that we have met in Mari and what sets them apart. The first one I believe that we met is kayash, to go, to leave. Where we say it is still going, and we're not specifying the means of transportation, can be any one of them, but we are focusing, it's a unidirectional thing, going from A to B. Whereas koshtash, to go, once again, we are not restricting ourselves to the mode of transportation, but we are saying that it is either bidirectional or unidirectional. You're going somewhere, you're coming back, you're walking around, or whatnot. Lektash, to go, to leave. Once again, we're not restricting ourselves by the mean of transportation, but we are focusing on the departure side of it. Like just go. If I'm saying go like that, the focus, I don't care where you're going. I care that you get away from here. And Lektash has the same focus on this initial phase of the process, the one where you go away from something. Miyash, to go, to come, is kind of the counterpart to Lektash. It is going, but more focusing on the destination of the process. Like if I'm telling you, like, go to school, I might be using this one because I'm more interested on you reaching the destination here. And like if one, it is often implied when I use it, like especially in the past tense, is implied that you went somewhere and already got back from it. Like if I say "Tace vrachdeke mianam," you would only say this if you're home again after having gone to the doctor. Oshkalash, to walk, to pace, to stride. Here the focus is on walking, that you are going on foot, you're not taking a bicycle, your helicopter, or whatnot. Ertash, to go, to pass, to cross. Here the focus is on the directionality of going by something, passing by something. Yeah, much more I can say about this one. Kudalash, to go, to drive, to ride. This one is used basically for any means of transportation that you drive or ride on, regardless of how you are propelled, be it a bicycle, a train, or a horse that you ride on the back. For all of these, you can use kudalash. Auxiliary constructions, also scraping the bottom of the barrel with these. We have ertarash, to lead, to take. When this is used in auxiliary constructions like ilen erten, living, leading, carrying out, it's another meaning it has. These are all used when you have like a set time period and you're denoting that you're doing something over a set time period. So it is imperfective in a way, but we had a whole bunch of other imperfective markers, but it denotes that there is a specific time period over which something is carried out. Sengash, to win, to defeat. When this one is used in auxiliary constructions, it is like to manage to do something. I managed to get up. So we're basically here, we are marking an achievement that went against expectation. So it's mirativity is like another word to keep in mind. Maybe you didn't think that you managed to get up, but you managed it. So go you, here's your reward. Miash, to go, to come, which we already had before. This one is very similar to tolash, which we have seen before, used to indicate a gradual increase of an action over time period. Like Bina erken peten mia, our force is slowly being depleted. Like this is a gradual process, but that is clearly going in one direction. And it can also be a directional marker, meaning that something is carried out up to some goal, to some place. Like dolphins swimming, they swim up to Petya, they swim up to this goal that we have. So the text in this chapter pertains to Maori weddings. And we have a little text in the a little YouTube clip from news pertaining to Maori cultural activities. And what is interesting here is that you have a little interview with a granny from the countryside here, where she's talking about baking in her pan. And she's not fully adhering to the Maori literary norm, and she's showing some variation that I believe I already promised at some point in a lesson. So that's it for chapter 36. See you in chapter 37.